For your first step, we're going to begin transferring our image onto the foam. So find the image that you like the most, keep the other one just in case we get a chance to print twice, and cut out the image that you would like to use first. You're going to cut right along the outside edge. Make sure that you don't cut off any of your design. Next, we want to attach our image to the foam. So to make sure that it doesn't slip off while we're tracing, we're going to tape our design onto the foam 2 different times. I'm going to do mine at the top and at the side because I have a little extra room there that won't cover up my design. Make sure that your tape doesn't go over your design. It'll just make it harder to transfer. I'm going to fold over any extra paper that I have along the edges as well, and make sure that it's nice and snug, nice and tight with the tape so it doesn't move or slide when I'm tracing. Using a colored pencil, I'm going to go over all of the lines in my design. The reason I'm using a colored pencil is because I want to make sure I don't miss any lines. So my pencil is a different color than my original design. I drew in black and now I'm going over it in red. So as I'm looking at my paper, I can see if there's any lines that I missed without taking the paper off. Once you take the paper off, it's really hard to put it back in the exact same spot. So you don't want to remove your paper until you are done tracing the whole. Once you've checked off the tracing step, you are going to remove the paper from your foam. Do it carefully so you don't rip your foam. Then you're going to go over the design in the foam one more time to deepen up those lines. This will help your print to be a little bit more clearer when we get ready to add our ink to it and put it onto our paper. So once again, with pencil or colored pencil, just go over on top of all of your lines to deepen them. This next step is so important. You need to find 0, 0 on your design. That's the bottom corner that we start with. That is going to be the central point of our rotation. So once you find the center, flip it over and mark it on the backside with a little dot. You might even have a neighbor check it. We need to add a handle to the back of our stamp. So look at your paper clip and simply pull out the center to create a handle. So just pull it out and then place your handle in the center of the back side of your stamp and tape it down into place. At this point, once it's nice and sturdy, you can add your name and the hour to the back of your stamp, so if it gets lost in the process, we can return it to you. Don't press too hard because you don't want your letters to go to the front side of your design. Now we are ready to ink. So at your table, you're going to be sharing an ink tray and a brayer and our black tempera paint for this project. So first of all, you have to fill up your brayer. And the way you do that is you dip it in the paint and then you simply roll it in the space around the paint to kind of even it out on your roller. Then you will pick up your stamp and evenly paint on the black paint onto your stamp. So you can see here, I don't want to use too much because if I put too much in, it'll kind of blob into my design and it'll make a really blobby print. First square is going to be printed in the upper left-hand corner of our paper. That dot that you made for the central location of the design needs to be in the bottom right-hand corner. So take a look as I press my stamp down onto my paper. I'm in the top left-hand corner and my dot is in the bottom right-hand corner of my square. I'm going to print it by pressing down firmly and kind of rubbing the back of my stamp. Then I simply peel it up and repeat the process. I'm going to re-ink it by rolling more paint onto my stamp, and I have to rotate my stamp this time. So every time I turn my stamp, that dot is in the middle of my design. So I've turned it 1/4 turn. So this time it's in the bottom left-hand corner. Line up my edges and press down to transfer my design onto my paper. Each time I finish, I'm going to gently pull up on my handle and re-ink, rotate my dot, and repeat the process over. So re-ink, rotate the dot so that it's in the middle. It always matches up with the middle. Line up my edges as best as I can and press down firmly. And then pull up. Now that our first square is done, we're going to repeat those steps 3 more times to fill up our whole 8 by 8 inch square. Really, the main focus of the other 3 designs is to make sure that that dot is always in the correct spot before you press down and print it. So every time I'm rotating my square around that dot being placed in the center of the design. So carefully match up your dot with the video as you go so that you don't print it backwards. If you want to ask a neighbor if it's correct, if it's in the right spot, please do that. It's always better to be safe than sorry. So I'm going to continue printing my little squares around in a circle 3 more times. After I finish with the top row, I'm going to move down to the bottom of my paper and repeat. Now that you're a pro at this whole printmaking thing, we're going to make one more print, but this time it's going to be just one small square and it's going to be black and white. The space at the bottom of your paper, below your colorful design, is for your black and white design. Again, this one is just 4 squares, so you only have to print 4 times, and it's just black and white, no need for color behind it. So enjoy, good luck!